So before starting these sessions, and I just want to understand how many guys are working in the DevOps, cloud architect, SREs, cloud engineer, system admin profile. No one? Only I can see only few hands. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So how many know the terms zero trust? Zero trust. Okay. I'm not asking between the friends, among the friends, but yeah, in the cloud world, yeah. So yeah, so before starting the session, this is about me. I am Saurabh Mishra. Currently, I'm working with as a DevOps lead with the company known as the TSYS. Also, akka is the global payment. And if I'm talking about community engagement, so I'm part of the various community and do the so many engagement and contributions for GCP, for AWS, for Kubernetes worlds. Yeah. Okay. This is always been my problem. That's why I asked for this one, yeah? Okay. So it's much better now, I believe. Okay. So this is about me, sorry. And I just pause a minute. You guys can scan this barcode. This is my LinkedIn URL. You guys can also connect over there, and whatever the doubt you have, you can ask later of this session as well. So these are the few requests, like whatever the questions you have in the mind, we can ask during this session, after this sessions, maybe over the LinkedIn or some other medium as well. And there's nothing, any stupid question, whatever thinking in terms of cloud or zero trust or cybersecurity or maybe the Kubernetes, we can ask everything and keep this session little bit interactive, you know. I'm not here to teach you guys. I'm not here just sharing my thought. You guys can also share your stories and related with the zero trust, related with the cloud or some other things as well. So yeah, I'm covering in this session. I'm just covering these points. First of all, we have to understand what is the zero trust. Then what are the different principles and pillar of the zero trust. Then what are the various ways intruders attack our pipelines. Pipelines, why it just especially mentions this topic is more related with the cloud and CI/CD stuff. That's why especially specify the pipeline word. Then what are the different multi-cloud setup we have? Like we have the GCP, we have the AWS, we have the Azure. What are the different type of different security tool services they are providing for the posture management? We are going to be discussing in detail. Then what are the various benefits and challenges we are occur during the implementation of your zero trust? Then what are the things you have to consider? We're going to be discussing this sessions. So first of all, we have to understand what's the meaning of the zero trust. Yeah. So if take a scenario like 30 years back, okay, 30 years back, if someone is working, like we are professional, so we have to go in the office, we have to connect through the LAN or through the office premises, then used to be work there. Then after a few times ago, there is the new terminology came into the picture known as the VPN. VPN means virtual private network. It means if whether you are office or not, through your own laptop or through your office laptop at home, you can connect it through the VPN to getting the resources which are running on the office setup. Okay. Then the evolutions of like nowadays Kubernetes distributed thing, microservices is going to be the mainstream. It's very difficult to managing through the VPN. So there is the new terminology known as the zero trust. What's the meaning of the zero trust means is never trust anyone, always verify. This is the main tagline, or you can tell the slogan we have to use for the zero trust. But why you need actually the zero trust? This thing is can achieve in other way as well. But the scenario, this is the globe. And we are all the workload maximum running on the cloud setup. So cloud can be accessible from anywhere. Like, you know, this is one of the resource we can access over the internet. So what's the challenges we are getting in terms of internet? There's no guarantee of the security. Any attacker can target anything in terms of your code, in terms of your infrastructure, in terms of your data, in terms of your user identity. They can fish anything, anyway, in various medium. So zero trust is one of the things. You are just bringing your own device on your office setup and you can connect from anywhere. Either you are at home, in office perimeter, maybe in the other continent, in other city, anything. So this is the thing. So what actually do in the Zero Trust? We are enforcing various policy. You are making so many customized policy, and we are identifying the users and the devices against those policy. If user is going to be fulfill those policy, then only that device and user going to be permitted. So if we are talking about the technical stuff, this is the standard definitions of the Zero Trust. First is like default deny, means from the default they are going to be deny, but yeah, they enforce with they have gone through the different policies, information point. Then once user is authenticated, authorized, then only get the resource access. Second one is already told you, never trust and always verify. So first of all, either your employee, contractor, partner, the third party, customer, anything, first of all, you have to authenticate that user, customer, anything, then you can just provide the access to them. And the third one is known as the cybersecurity terms. This is the approach on which you are eliminating the implicit trust by enforcing strict identity authentication authorizations. So all things is the similar, but we having the different way of to defining the terminologies. So if I'm talking about the pillars of of Zero Trust, these are the things pillars. First of all, verify specifically, like, whatever I believe everybody know authorization and authentications, the meaning of authorization and authentication. Can anyone tell? What's the difference between these two, authorization and authentication? Okay, so authorizations is like, suppose I'm coming in this conference, like, this is my one of the thing, authentications, like I have the ID, I have the enrollment, I authenticated, I'm authorized to enter this premises, correct? But there are so many sessions is going on. Take example, I'm not asking to, take example, I'm also only allowing the security or the cyber security sessions. I'm not going to be part of any other sessions. So where that authorizations come into the pictures, right? I'm only permitted for the security and the cyber security session, not permitted for the other things. So in the computer or in the cloud world, like there are so many services available on the cloud. So take example, I'm only authorized to access on the IAM or the compute. I'm not allowed to work on the database side like the BigQuery in the Google or some other thing, RDS or something. I'm not authorized to access those services. So this is the difference, basic difference between authorization and authentications. The second one is the least privilege access. Least privilege means we have to only provide the access at that level, on that level, that user or that employee can only perform their task, nothing more than that. So that is known as the least privilege access, okay? The third one is known as the axiom breaches. We cannot build a system which is 100% proof. So we have to think whatever the system and whatever the solutions or architecting we are going to be do, that thing is going to be breached somehow. Some attacker, some user, some bugs exist in the system. So you have to design in such a way. So these are the main consideration we are doing while implementing anything related with the Zero Trust. So we understand the three pillars. So what's the difference? Like, these are the identity device. Identity device means we as a user, a device means any laptop, any desktop or anything is part of your verifications. Then your applications and data. Applications and data means whatever the different applications you are providing and what are the backend data we have. So through which we are providing the least privilege access. This slice is very self-explanatory, if you go there. And the axiom breaches, like, attacker can target in your infrastructure or in your network. So in this scenario, you have to do a lot of security parameter. If you go in the detail in the cloud, you can see there are so many services coming and working towards these two solution, infrastructure and your network. So this slide is already explained in the earlier session, like, Zero Trust we can segregate in form of the workforce. Workforce is like, we like employee, contractor, partners. Those are categorized as the workforce. Then your workloads like, your applications running on which type of services, like that is using your compute engine or VMs, that is using the Kubernetes, that is using the microservices. So that categorized as the workloads, if you see. And the workplaces is like, workplace is nothing like whatever the different office premises, your security perimeter and your equipment, what are the different things, laptop, desktop, everything is going to be categorized in your workplaces. Yeah, so this is very important, guys. And this is the main thing we are going to be discuss here. So these are the different stages. Stages is like what are the way we are designing the zero trust solution in the any cloud vendors. So if you're talking about the first stage, the visualize. Visualize means discover the endpoint. Endpoint is nothing like any devices we are connecting our office network, like mobile, your laptop, desktop, any devices. That is known as the endpoint. Then identities like us, user and employees. Then your applications. So what are the different type of applications you are running? So the first stage you have to visualize what are the different type of this type of points which can come in the picture. Then we have to also understand what are the various way attacker can attack our system, like our application or our network, our infrastructure. So these are we are just in the first stage, we are discovering each and everything. Okay. Once everything is ready-made, I'm not asking for it's going to be your complete, but at least it's going to be 70 to 80% understand these two things, like discover endpoints as well as your visualize attack path. Then second one is the mitigate. You understand these are the breaches can happen your network and these are the endpoints you have. But what are the solutions you guys are designing? Like, here's the good architect come into the picture. Yeah. So architect should in such a way design such a way solutions. What are the different type of solutions we have? What are the integration with the third party tools we are using for achieving this zero trust? So we are designing and architecting and assembling those tools all together in the mitigate field. Okay. Then enrich telemetry with the threat contents and intel. Telemetry, anybody understand the meaning of telemetry? No one. Okay. Take example like a patient lying on the bed. Okay. And you can see sudden spike in their blood pressure. You can see on the monitor, there is the sudden spike having on the blood pressure on the monitor. But why it is happened? What's the root cause of that thing? So for that thing, doctor gone through so many blood tests, so many X-rays, then finalize this is the root cause. Just replicate those stuff in the cloud world. The cloud world having the two terms, monitoring and the observability. Okay. Monitoring is something like you have seen the sudden spike on the dashboard or on the monitor, they're the monitoring. But what are the different X-rays, blood tests, everything is performed. What's the root cause is happening? That is known as the observability. Observability nowadays is very, very paramount things in the Kubernetes. Like, like in the Kubernetes and microservices, every request is having one microservice going transfers to another, then another. If you see, there is no correlation among the microservices. Then observability, what exactly do? It will be propagate how the request is propagate from end to end for the different span or different services is going to be help. So this is the telemetry. So telemetry is nothing like the observability in the computer world or the Kubernetes world. Then third one is the optimize. Like everything is placed, then how we can to be optimized. So you guys are aware about Armor, WAF, this terminology you guys are aware, WAF, Armor, then Amazon Shield we have, Amazon Advanced Shield we have, then Sentinel in the Azure, Microsoft Azure. So these are providing the different conditions. Then you also proving through the different ways like MFA, SSO, and then SSO integrated with the third party. So these are all things come together for designing one zero trust in any cloud. Okay. I'm not talking about the cyber security things. I'm more focusing on the multi-cloud. So guys, please don't correlate conceptually on the cyber securities. Yeah, so if you're talking about, if you guys know about the CI/CD, I hope everybody aware about the CI/CD stuff, continuous integration and continuous delivery or deployment. Yeah. So these are the things on which attacker can target your pipeline. Okay. Can anyone tell any real example, any one or two cases, if you feel this is the against the security breaches or attacker can target anything? Like in your GitHub, your guys are using the GitHub, or you are guys using any GitLab and anything, Jenkins. Anyone, any example? Oh yeah, please. Your voice is not. आवाज नहीं आ रहा आपका. Sorry.
Hello. Pushing the code directly on master branch.
Okay, that is one thing. Then everybody is going to be teach, either your senior, your colleague, and your peers. Your credentials is never going to be hard-coded on GitHub or any your code. Okay. Another things, while using the third-party tools, third-part tools libraries, it cannot be exposed. And whatever the image you guys are using, it should be authenticated and validated. Okay. So these are the things, like, if you see their credentials theft is nothing like if your guys are using your credential in hard coded in the GitHub or whatever the version control system you guys are using, attacker can easily attack. Even your different team members can easily, understand your code, and that is nothing like just base 64 code. Then supply chain attack. I'm going to explain each by one. Yeah? And another one, the exploiting vulnerabilities. So in the previous session, someone is already covered a little bit about the vulnerability. So vulnerability is nothing like, there is the one company known as the CSI benchmark. On monthly basis, they are releasing the CVEs. CVE is nothing like, vulnerabilities number against the number. So whatever the tools you are going to be using, they are used to be publishing on the monthly basis. And they are also providing the mitigation steps, what step you have to follow to mitigate that thing. So if you're talking about vulnerabilities, you guys might hear the term is the trivy. Trivy is the one thing. And another vulnerability, the Wiz. Wiz is nowadays, you guys just, Google this, explore these terms on the Google. It's very good tools. You guys can easily understand each and everything over there. So Wiz and the Trivy is the main thing is going to be used in most of the cloud setup. So your Trivy is mostly used for the containerizations applications, and Wiz is more using for the cloud as well as your Kubernetes or microservices stuff. Then phishing and misconfiguration. This is very understood. Like, if your configuration is not very up to date, not very up to standard, then can be easily, attacker can target your configuration, whatever you have. And phishing is nothing like, if suppose I'm sitting in the office and simple questions like, if you suppose a guy is like, I'm sitting in the office premises, I'm using the office network. So do you think my office laptop where I'm using, so what and everything running on my laptop or whatever the files we contain on the laptop is totally safe? What's the reason? Then you say no. Well, what's the reason then? Attack in what sense? Like I'm office the LAN, I'm office lab desktop we have, office laptop we have, we are using the office LAN or office Wi-Fi. Everything seems to be secure. Everything seems to be secure. But I know in the last year's data, around 74% data breaches and exfiltration is happening in the office premises itself. 74%. This is the Gartner data last year we have. Maybe not Gartner, maybe some other medium. I don't remember who is for, but 74% data breaches happening in office security or office parameter itself. Okay. Yeah.
So it is totally bad.
Yeah, you somehow is correct. This is a very easy example I'm giving, office. If you guys observe, in office emails, we are getting so many emails, so many unnecessary emails, so many emails going in the correct time. But there are the few emails which is some sort of the phishing emails. You have to just click on that email and you can pass on your credentials, maybe your credentials to data that person, the attacker. So that is more about your phishing. Okay? In fact, in Gmail and message we used to be get like your loan amount, that amount has been passed. You think, oh, I never applied, how it passed? So that is nothing but the phishing your email, phishing message or emails you are getting. You are saying something, sir. Okay.
Yeah, so now they are even smarter. So it's not only about this, we as a consumer, knowing all these security vulnerabilities, now the messages what we get is, if this is not the transaction or you did not apply for this, please report this. Okay. So sometimes we do that also. They click on this link to report this. It can be the cyber or it can be as phishing. That itself, that link itself is also phishing. So yeah, it's how you are configuring your network, even the private network. Your endpoints are there. If you are smarter for taking care of those endpoints, what kind of mails you are getting, what kind of messages you are getting, if you are well versed with that. So that's where we are not safe, even in that environment. That's what my answer was. Yeah.
Okay. So think you are asking questions, right? You have question. You are sharing your thought.
No, you had asked that question,
Okay,
so I was giving the answer.
I'm working professionals, like, I'm getting 500 emails. Okay. Last 6 months, I never report a single email to any like cyber infosec team or anyone. In my example, nobody is going to be report each and every day, and everybody they are getting numerous email that is unwanted emails. Only few emails is related with authenticated and valid for your cases, but max of the cases we are not getting the emails that is not relevant to us. Yeah, agree that point. So don't think about each and everything you have to report the infosec team. You have to build a solution, you have to build a design, you have a tool, you have a system well placed to that take care each and everything like we as employee we are facing over there. So that's the thing. The zero trust is the main thing in that cases. Somebody is just only relating with the cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is nothing without cloud. Cloud IAM is the one of the best solutions for cybersecurity team using SSO. They are just doing the integration of their plugging, but in the back end, they are still using the IAM solution on the cloud. Okay. Yeah, we had it. So yeah, the main topics like why zero trust in the multi-cloud. In the multi-cloud, if you see there, multi-cloud is nothing like integration of the various cloud. Like majority I'm talking about GCP, Azure, and the AWS. So most of the in fact in my organizations we are building the solutions integration of these clouds itself. Like if you say compute side is mostly running on the AWS side. Database is mostly relying on the GCP, but authentication and authorizations, like all this stuff, we are using the IAM or intra ID or AD, known as the AD, Azure AD. So it's very complex to the integration and combining all three clouds all together and building one of the solutions or unified plane of glass. It's very difficult, So zero trust, like first challenge, first thing is increase the complexity.
Sorry to interrupt, but instead of this zero trust, if we have clients from Europe who mostly go with AWS.
Your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, please.
In place of zero trust, like where there's like inbuilt by Microsoft Azure, if clients mostly from Europe and countries, they want to go with AWS, so what solution we can provide for them?
Yeah, there is in GCP, there is the known as the Anthos, one of the services on which we can migrate the existing workload, like a workload running on the Azure and AWS side. You can bring those workload on the GCP, known as the Anthos. But in other clouds, there is no such solution well placed. You have to do a lot of integration in terms of their services, but there is no ready-made solutions like Anthos we have placed in the GCP, similar solution placed for it.
Can we, in an environment,
Yeah, you can migrate.
we can have multiple zero trust, and
Your voice is not coming, sir.
what I'm saying is, in an environment, we can use zero trust and the one which we have taken the name, right? We can integrate both.
Yeah, sir. Zero trust is not a tool. Zero trust is not the song. This is the methodology or mechanism you are doing for the cloud. But yeah, I understand your question. You were saying if suppose one of the solutions is on the Google cloud, you wanted to bring on the other cloud, right? This is the questions we have. Yeah, you can easily do that. You can integrate. There are so many things well placed in the services side, on their cloud services side. You can easily integrate those things. You can do a lot of enhancement. But if you are thinking you have to just remove one of the solutions and bringing the other solutions. So in fact, whatever the integrations you guys have at the organizations level, that is, it's going to be very tricky. You can do, but it's going to be very tricky. Yeah, data silo is another thing. Data silo is like, in the same companies, we have the different teams and different projects. They are using the different type of databases. Like, in one team using the Oracle database, another team using the Maria, someone is the Mongo, someone is the SQL. So data silos, like, data is nowadays exploding like anything due to the AI experimental and whatever the different modelings you have. But this is the one of the things we have to take care, and that thing is going to be the major challenge while implementing the zero trust. Then third one is the involving threats. There are the many threats is coming, like, whatever the examples we have shown earlier, but yeah, as there are the other way as well, can attacker and attacker your infrastructure or data in terms of many forms. Yeah, so these are the, I think we have 10 minutes, right? 10 to 15 minutes. Of 10, sorry. So I have to go a little bit fast. So these are the things, what are the different way what are the different steps you have to follow to implementing in the zero trust. First one is that define your protect surface. Surface is like, what are your end boundary to designing the solutions. Then again, on your access current security posture. Security posture is nothing like they are the CSPM, Cloud Security Posture Management Tools. That is basically is going to be end-to-end your solution for your threat detection and as well your authorization stuff all we are doing. Then we have to implement and configure zero trust control. Like what type of different services you are going to be use, what are the different conditions access you are going to be provide, what are the different type of authorization you are giving to particular users. So that things come into in this implementation and configuration of zero trust. Then finally we have continuous monitoring improvement. Like once the solution is placed, then you have to continuously monitor and understand the threat, any new threat is coming, and design the solution and do the advancement in terms of those solutions as well. Then I'm going a little bit fast, like, if you're talking about particular on the GCP side, GCP offers services. So these are the major services we have in the GCP known as the Beyond Corp. Beyond Corp is nothing like, it's going to be eliminate your VPN. Why they are eliminating the VPN? The thing is, suppose I'm sitting in India, I want to connect the VPN on the US. So we can observe so many latency between the bandwidth. And another things, we have to do the additional cost, like, we are using the Cisco, Symantec, some other Symantec. So that is bring the additional cost. So this thing, Beyond Corp is basically eliminating your VPN, and they are advancing known as the identity-aware proxy. Identity-aware proxy is like, if suppose you are connecting to any instance, you are doing through the SSH or external IP. But in case of IAP, that is not required. You can directly connect it through your IAM permissions. Then SSC is like Security Command Center. This is the one of the single plane of a single unified dashboard on which we can get each and every threat detections over on that portion or that dashboard. Then Access Context Manager is like, in this case, we are defining what are the different policy we have, what are the different condition access we are going to be applied, what are the different enforcement point you are going to be used. Then after Cloud Armor is something like, this is advancement of the application firewall on which we are basically protecting your application against DDoS attack. And then finally, IAM. IAM is everybody know, I believe. So if we go in the details, this is the slides, like, we are connecting through the different device and user from the different location and different IP addresses and your time. And if you, I'm talking about the enforcement point. Enforcement point is nothing like this is the things. Your cloud identity aware proxy, your IAM role, then your cloud identity and VPC SC. SC means service control. Like, we are also defining the boundary in terms of the VPC, virtual private network. So for that thing, we are putting a lot of enforcement point. Once this part is done, then only you can getting the access on this part, like, for your workplace, workspace means, then your different applications, VMs, resources, whatever you wanted to access for that. The same case for the AWS. I'm not going into details. These are the major services we have. For the AWS, the guard duty is something like, if we say this is the protecting for particular instance, EC2 instance, on that case, this guard duty is going to be used. Then we have the AWS config. If you are deviating from any compliance, whatever the organization level policy we have or any compliance we have, so that's the AWS config going to be help in this case. Then we have the AWS Security Hub. Security is something like, say, like a security command center in the GCP, on which we have the unified dashboard. Then your CloudTrail, what are the different APIs call happening within the different microservices and the different applications. Each and every track is done through the CloudTrail. Then we have finally the WAF. Yeah. So this is nothing like I just already explained. One terms I just missed on that previous slide, known as the control tower. Control tower is, suppose in organization, in my case, we are managing the different accounts. AWS account means, we have around, I believe the AWS account, like, different infrastructure running on the different AWS environment, you can say. So AWS control tower is going to be help, this is providing the organization policy at the top, at the parent level. And then whatever the account are going to be created, below that, each account should be follow that policies. So that is managed through the AWS control tower. Then we have the IAM, WAF and SHIELD. WAF is like the protection against your DDoS attack, and SHIELD is like advancement of the WAF. There are so many conditions, access or policy you can embed it in the SHIELD. Then we have guard duty and inspector, and then CloudTrail. Yeah. Yeah, these are the main services we are using in case of the Azure. Azure, like Azure AD. Azure AD known as the Intra ID nowadays. They have renamed that terminology, the Intra ID. Then Sentinel. Sentinel is the policy enforcement in the Azure side. Then we have the Microsoft Defender. Is complete, one of the services provide the complete threat injection intrusions. Then we have the Azure policy, like you are defining the customized policy and as per your requirement. Then Azure Key Vault. Key Vault is nothing like, suppose you wanted to storing the keys and different services which are required from the different services in Azure side. That is managed through the Azure Key Vault. Yeah, so these are the benefits, like, if I discuss. So, of course, we are going to be, major play in terms of the security. It's like you are going to be do a lot of advancement in of the security. Then we have also chance to the breaches of data is going to be little bit less while implementing the zero. This is not the full proof, but yeah, it can minimize a lot. Then we have lateral movement prevention. Lateral movements is something like, suppose we don't have well solo security place. Then what happens? One workload running on the one VPC, another workload running on the different VPC. So they don't understand the boundaries. So we have to design such a way, whatever the access or whatever the resource we require, that is specific for that VPC parameter. Yeah. So that's why in the Google Cloud known as the VPC SC, service control. Then of course mitigation of the insider threat, like you have to take care of your configurations, your vulnerability, you have to implement different mitigations stuff as well. So to minimize some sort of the threat inside that one. But yeah, in course, IAM is the very important in this case. So you have to define fine grain security control through the IAM and different policies. So these are the best practices, like, you have to, micro-segmentation is nothing like you have to break the network in a smaller chunk of the network and design the solution in such a way. Then you have to automate the workflow, so you have to implement the DevOps methodology in this case. Like DevOps, you have to try to involve less human intervention and try to automate whatever the things possible you have. Then automate IAC template, like Terraform. Terraform is the main thing is going to be implemented in this case for the complete automations. I believe everybody know the IAC, infrastructure as a code. So on which Terraform and the Plume is going to be used in most of cases. Then we have the continuous modifications and authentication. Then finally vulnerability and runtimes, like this thing we already discussed in the previous slides. So these are the challenges, like, challenges if we're talking about still many organizations running their service not migrated on the cloud. Most of the services running on the on-prem, or you can say on the legacy system itself. So this is one of the thing. So you have to do a lot of research in terms of your on-prem solutions as well. Then you have to cultural resistance, like you are still thinking is whatever the workload running on the cloud, that is not very foolproof. But you have to think, or you have to shift your mind, like, cloud can also be secure. You have to just understand the requirement and what are the different security approach you have to follow. Then vendor support and the compatibility, like, if I'm thinking we are using the cloud, we can achieve the foolproof zero trust. That is not possible. You have to integrate the so many other tools as well. Like there are the so many tools. We go on that side, landscape.cncf.io, on the visit on that side, you can see there are the so many tools that is available for only for the zero trust and for the security stuff. Then your visibility and the monitoring, like, observability I have explained. So you have to also implement the observability and take care of the observability stuff as well. Then finally knowledge and skill gap. We in the most of the cases, like, used to be hire the resources, but they are not very good in terms of security stuff. They are good in terms of compute side, they are good in terms of DevOps side, maybe CI/CD, but they are not good in terms of security side as well. So we have to improve in that sense as well. That's it, guys. I am already these are the few references you guys can visit over there and you can learn. This is the one of the blog I have written on the top on the Medium. You can guys also, but that is more related with the Google Cloud. But other, I can also going to be share this these slides after this sessions to someone can share with you all. Then, yeah, thanks.